2 weeks ago, my son hit a deer with this iconic 2002 Lexus IS300. Now, most people would want to send this to the body shop or even maybe the scrap yard, but we're going to save this car because it means a lot to him, and the car means a lot to me as it used to be mine before I gave it to him. But these cars were something special in the first place.
It popped the hood.
Pop the hood?
Pop the hood.
Because it has the legendary Toyota 2JZ engine in it.
2JZ engine, no shit.
These things are capable of doing 300,000 to 400,000 miles before needing any major work, and sometimes even more. But in this video, we're going to restore this early 2000s icon back to its former glory, and we're going to try our hand at our first paint work. We'll see how that goes. But we have a lot of work to do, so let's get right into it. The first thing is, let's talk about the car in general. The Lexus IS300 is a cult classic of a car, and they're very underrated for what they are. It wasn't exactly the pinnacle of luxury, but it was a wolf of a sports car in sheep's clothing. Seats were trimmed with a leather outside bolster with a nice Alcantara center section. Now, these seats have seen better days. They could really use a restoration, but we're not getting into that right now. It has a nice power sliding sunroof, climate controls, although not digital, an automatic transmission that is pretty good in these cars, but they did come with a limited number of manual transmission cars as well. Now, this car is equipped with the legendary Toyota 2JZ engine, but this is the 2JZ GE, which is the non-turbo naturally aspirated version. Now, in the Supra, you could get the GE engine or the GTE engine. Now, the 2JZ GTE engine is turbocharged, and that's the engine that made the Toyota Supra famous. Now, as you can see, there's been paint peel. This is not from the accident. This has been this way for years, but we're going to solve all of that as well. The rest of the car's in pretty decent shape for its age. It does have a few blemishes, kind of like right here in the back quarter. We might have to take care of this because this is some rust developing underneath the paint. The trunk lid could use a respray, but that's not happening this time. Same with the rear bumper. It's got paint chips and everything all in it. It's peeling. And probably replace the trunk garnish as well at some point. You can see it's split, but we're not doing that right now. But yeah, it's just an all-around special early 2000s car that a lot of people really just don't know about. Okay, so now that you know a little bit about the car, let's start getting into assessing the damage and see where we're at. Starting with the hood, you can see this is not salvageable. We are not going to repair this. This is going to be a replacement. But on top of that, the hood hinges are tweaked and they're hitting the fender. Now, these fenders are salvageable. We can repair these. So we're trying not to cause more damage with this, and you can see it's already hitting. We can straighten that out. There's also a bit of the fender pushed out right here. I think we can tap this back in with body hammers and straighten that out. The windshield is smoked, but this is not a job for us. This is a job for Safe Light Repair, Safe Light Replace.
Safe Light Repair, Safe Light Replace.
Not sponsored, but hey, Safe Light, give me a call. The hood prop managed to make it. I did have to put it back on, but the driver's side headlight has left the chat, but to be fair, this needed replaced anyway. You can see how glazed over it is. I tried clearing these up once before. They didn't really come out that great, so we're going to replace them this time around. The front bumper is hosed. It was hosed to begin with, but it's extra hosed now. The driving lights, we're going to clear these up ourselves and try to save money on not having to replace them. So we're going to do a nice sand and clear job on this. We need a new front grille because, well, it's just gone. It is no longer with us. This horn's busted a little bit, but it still works. I think we're going to be fine there, not having to replace that. We need an upper radiator support. Thankfully, this is just a bolt-on unit, but you can see it's pushed in here. It's all tweaked. I think the hood latch is just fine, so we'll reuse that. We are going to have to work on the side supports, though, because this one is tweaked. You can see it's bent right here, and it dips down here. Whereas if you look at the other side, it's not dipped as much here. It's not as tweaked here. I think we can straighten this out. Airbox took a little bit of a hit, but I think it's okay. I think we can still work with this. The radiator's leaking from the top, but it's also got this horseshoe bend that's not supposed to be here. So that's getting replaced. The AC condenser is somehow still holding all the refrigerant, even with all this going on, because you can see where the horn pushed into it on both sides. So we'll replace that. This is a connector for the fan switch. You can see this side of it broke off, but we have a weather pack harness kit and I think we can fix this up. Other than that, that's all I can visibly see right now. We'll know more once we start getting everything off and take a better look at this. So now we've taken a look at everything we can see visually. It's time to start taking some things off the car, taking a deeper dive and a deeper look. Make sure we're not missing anything else before we start getting parts in. But in all honesty, I've already ordered a bunch of stuff. Thanks eBay, thanks Rock Auto. Call me. All right, let's start taking the hood off. Being careful not to break our windshield. Oh wait, it's already broke. We need to get our bumper and our fender off. So we need to get our fender well trim off. And we got to get our tire off to get to those. I'm not sure who ran a machine screw through the bumper into this, but if this is you, this is some classic jerry rigging, and we don't do that. Stop it. Let's get some of our screws out of here. All right, with the fender wells out, there's really not much holding our bumper on because mostly everything is missing. So I think we can just pull this off now. And more broken pieces just fall out, you know, because things undo the harnesses for our fog lights. Undo our marker lights. Yeah, they're on there. We'll be back right after these messages. Do you have stubborn harnesses that won't disconnect due to vehicle age and neglect? Then try the Rusted Nuts new Harness Be Gone tool. This tool will take those stubborn harnesses and make them a thing of your past. I'm just kidding. I didn't cut any harnesses, I promise. We're doing this job the right way. All right, we need to get them headlights out. This one is no longer here. We got two nuts back here. Now I think our headlights should just pull out. There we go. Harnesses to disconnect. Or we'll just take the bulb out. Lots of harnesses to disconnect. Take this one out. There's that one. Take this one. That's that one. We got this one right here, which I don't even think is, nope. Oh, harnesses galore. Here's another one. Oh, jeez, yet another one. Now the headlight is out. There's a lot of lights in there. And just rinse and repeat for the other side. All right, as you can see, the headlights are out. So it's time to start removing stuff off the radiator support here. We're gonna remove our air intake here, and it looks like the bolt left the chat a long time ago. So we'll just pull that off. Take out our upper radiator mounts. All right, now we're gonna move on to our upper radiator support. You're working hard today, aren't you, little fella? Oops. Can you get that for me? No? Okay, I'll get it. Undo the harnesses for our horns. Maybe get out. Ugh. Hood latch. Ooh, that one's tight.
That's what she said. Ha.
She's tweaked a little, but we can fix her up. Make her good as new. Now, is this ready to come out? I feel like she is. There we go. What are you holding on? Oh, there we go. Oh, I forgot a bolt. This little tiny thing holds that in. Ah, much better. You gone. We're amassing quite the pile of trash. You still look serviceable. That's good. Okay. Well, we can leave you up. Maybe not. We'll take you out. Okay, maybe there's more than meets the eye to that. Oh yeah, you're definitely tweaked. Maybe you're tweaked in a little bit too, I don't know. That's no good. I am really impressed that this is still holding refrigerant and not leaking because the AC still blows ice cold somehow. Good job, Toyota, Lexus, whatever. As you can see here, we have a little bit of tweaking that needs to happen. This is pushed in. It should not be. Fine, just fall. I don't care. And you can see this side is not pushed in as much. I'm hoping this side isn't moved much so I can use it as a guide for the passenger side. The ultimate guide will be our upper radiator support, mounting it back up. This is really, yeah, it's like pushed in here and tweaked here. We're gonna be doing some straightening. And this is kind of like going downhill, where this side's more level. It's not a problem, we'll fix it. Now that we've reclaimed the refrigerant out of the system, we can take our AC lines off the condenser. See if we can pry out on this a little bit. Oh, a little bit of refrigerant in there. It looks like lots of oil in the system too. There we go. Let's undo this bracket, see if it gives us a little wiggle room on those lines. Oh yeah. Put our bolt back in there so we remember where it goes. Gets them out of the way enough for us to slide this by, I think. And now we have these cooler lines right here. Let's see if we can take... Well, that didn't really help. But if we... There we go. Now, oh, look at that. We're getting somewhere. What are we hitting? All right, we're hitting that. Fine. Question is, can we take the bottom out and then lower it? That seems to be working. How was that not leaking? This condenser is a testament to all other condensers for the fact that it wasn't leaking. So we need to put this in a special spot so it is highly recognized. Oofta. Radiator not looking so hot either. She's pushed back pretty good. Now we need to drain the coolant out though. Now that we've drained most of the coolant out, we can take our upper radiator hose off. There we go. That helps. Thankfully, there was still a lot of coolant left in here because he drove it another 2.5 hours home after he hit the deer and it was leaking coolant. But it seems like there was a sufficient amount in here to keep the car from overheating, so that's a plus. Now we can remove this from the radiator as well. We can undo the harnesses for our fans. Well, that didn't work out the way I wanted it to. In other news, the Range Rover's listed and somebody's coming to look at it today and probably buy it. Oh, I'm gonna miss this one so much. I can't keep them all, but they are getting a great vehicle. Insert tears here. Oh, I'll miss you. With the radiator drained, we can take off the lower radiator hose. Wow, that's been on there a minute. Probably have a little bit come out of here still. Not too bad. We also have to take off our transmission cooler lines because they are part of the radiator. So we're going to lose a little bit of transmission fluid when we do this. And we're going to try to measure what we take out so we can put the same amount back in. All right, now we got to take this transmission line off. I think we're going to loosen up this air box and get it out of the way to help us get the radiator out. Disconnect our map sensor. Now let's lift the radiator out. And there's the radiator out. And the cap. We're going to take and straighten up these side supports a little bit, at least the way I think they should be. This looks like it should be down a little bit. Probably right about there. And maybe out this way here. That looks pretty good. See if we can take and... There we go. Now, to straighten up this side a bit, let's start with an adjustable wrench. Let's see if we can pull this out a bit. Hammer this out a bit. We're going to roll with that for a moment. All right, this is our new upper support. It's a different color. We'll paint it then, but we're just going to temporarily bolt it in. I can see we have some alignment issues over here already on this side. We don't have to go much. We just got to tweak it a little bit and see if we can line up. Thankfully, we got some nice little alignment holes here. Oh, look at that. Pulls it right over. There she is. So as you can see here, this is where our overflow tank failed, where it took a hit and it is cracked, leaked out the coolant from the reservoir. I venture a guess that possibly the radiator itself wasn't leaking and just the coolant tank was. But thankfully, we have our new radiator from Rock Auto and a new fan shroud with a new overflow tank. Now all we have to do is transfer the fans over to this and put it on the radiator. I took the bolts out that are holding the shroud to the old radiator, and now I need to take off our overflow hose because we have to reuse it. Can't say I'm a big fan of these clamps that are on it, but it's not like it's full pressure, so there we go. Here's where the broken harness is for the fan. We'll have to replace that with the weather pack connectors that we have. Now we need to flip this over and we need to take off our fans. Alright, we're going to try a little trick, and that's to cut a groove in the top of this and see if we can use a flathead to get these screws out. And since we won't be reusing the screws, that's fine. Now, can we get a flathead in there with a little bit of leverage and try to remove these? There it comes. It's working. Stupid Phillips heads. Alright, so since the harness was toast on the other end of our one fan, we're going to make a new harness for it with these weather pack connectors. I have a kit here. The first thing we need to do is cut the old connectors off. Okay. Watch them fly around. Take your old weather seals off. Now we need to strip about 1/8 of an inch back on these wires. That's probably a little more than 1/8, but it'd be alright. Then we need to install 2 new weather seals according to the gauge of our wire, which I think these are the right size here. Yep. Then we take our terminal, and we want the back end of the terminal to crimp around the weather seal. We're going to take our crimping tool, and I think we are the middle. That looks about right. Then we're going to take our terminal housing and open it up, like so. And we're going to push the terminals into the housing till they click and lock into place, just like that. Apparently I should have done both of them at the same time. So we'll use our removal tool, slip that over, push it in, which pushes our connector out. And now since we want to reuse this, we'll just bend our locking tabs back out a little bit. Good. Now let's insert them both at the same time. Ooh, I'm going to have to pay attention because I messed up. I put a female on one side and a male on the other. It's fine. We just got to pay attention to what we're doing on the other side. So we'll go ahead and lock these in. Then we can close our harness back up. Just like that. Now we have a brand new connector on this, and we can put this on our fan housing. And then you're just going to do the same thing to the other end of the harness. Alright, our cooling fan assembly is assembled. Our new harnesses are made. We are now ready to bolt this onto the new radiator. Alright, this is our upper radiator here, so we will put the fan assembly right there. Alright, there's the radiator assembled and ready to go back in. Now we can go back in with the radiator. We got our hoses on, we got our sensor on. I think I'm going to put my radiator supports back in for the moment. It's March Trash Day, so we need to open up the rest of these boxes so we can get the cardboard out for recycle. No way, it's a care package for my friends at Release. I use the crap out of this stuff. I didn't have the spray bottle of it. This stuff is some of the best all-around cleaner on the market. I use this for basically everything around the house. Ah, and they even sent me some wipes and a small bottle of spray. Now, if you have a boat like I do, you know when you take the cover off for the first time of the year, all the dirt, grime, mold, mildew that you find left behind, all you have to do is spray on some Release, let it sit for a few minutes and wipe it away. And it works on every surface that you can think of, from vinyl, leather, plastic, fiberglass, glass, you name it. And everywhere you spray it, this is what you get when you're done. Just spray it on, wipe it away, and you're left with an amazingly clean surface. Now, you can use Release on virtually every surface on the interior of a car, and it's even safe to use on infotainment screens. You can use it on auto glass, windows, any glass surface you can think of. You can use it to clean all of your outdoor furniture. I use it to clean all the nasty, greasy, grimy surfaces of my grill, and it brings them out looking like new. You can use it on every surface in your kitchen, to include stainless steel appliances. Now, you can grab your own amazing Release cleaner by visiting the website you see on your screen, using my discount at the bottom for 10% off of all your products. Now, you can purchase wipes, a 32-ounce spray bottle, or you can even buy it concentrated to make up to 80 of your own 32-ounce bottles. Now, I use Release everywhere in my shop, from the vehicles that I'm working on to the floors to the ceilings. This stuff is a must-have for me in my shop. I have to have some in my cabinet at all times. And I want to thank Release for the products they've sent me and for supporting content creators like myself. Now let's get back to the video. So you missed me open up a bunch of packages because I forgot to hit the record button. Seems to happen a lot. You also missed the headlights. And I'm not actually going to show you those just yet. We'll show you them after they go in the car and see what you think. This one, though, is the next important part we need for this project. This should be the AC condenser. Now I can see that they did send me new brackets for it, which is really nice. There is, as I'm pulling this out of the box, I do see a slight curvature in this. Don't think it'll hurt anything. It should straighten out a little bit when we mount it, but I'm not 100% happy with that. We'll have to take a look compared to the old one and see just how bad this is, but I think it's okay. All right, those brackets that were bent over on that condenser were easy to bend back. It didn't really affect anything. I think we're going to be just fine with that. But now we're on to something more important. We need our Rock Auto magnets. And last but not least is our ginormous box that should be our front bumper. There she is. Oh, would you look at that?
Oh, would you look at this?
Looks so nice. There's our bumper. Now I have all this to clean up and get rid of. Okay, we have our air conditioning O-ring kit, and I need to get the old O-rings off the refrigerant lines. Alright, let's see if we can match this up here. So it's a contest between this one and this one. This one seems to be a little bit thinner than that one. This one's definitely thicker, but this one is smaller diameter, so it should stretch and thin out a little bit. I think this would be the better sealing O-ring. We're going to try it first. If not, we'll go to this one. All right, I put our new O-ring on there and a little bit of oil to help guide it in. Let's see what happens here. It's a tight fit, but I think it's going to work. All right, this center support is pretty jacked up, as you can tell, but I think we can straighten this out. I'm going from this one I see on eBay that's pretty straight. I think we can do that. Let's do it. So this is the before to this. And it's not perfect, but it's a lot better, and I think it'll work. We can tweak this as we need to as we're putting it on. Let's get it on. All right, we're going to slip it down behind our transcooler lines, like that. We're going to put a bolt in the top just to hold it in place. Now will it line up at the bottom? Yes, it does. It's almost like I'm good at this or something. All right. Now we need to fish our hood latch in behind it, like so. I'm not going to tighten them up, I'm just going to run them in a little bit. And you can see we don't line up here at the bottom, so I think we need to move that over just a hair. See if we can tweak that. Hey, she lines up now. Now we have a hood latch, it's nice and secure. I mean, the real question will be, will the hood actually latch? All right, I think we want to move on to getting coolant back in this so we can start it up and move it around when we need to. All right, we set up our vacuum filler. We have our seal in the radiator. We are going to let air in here so we can pull vacuum. We're going to leave this valve closed because this is what draws the antifreeze in when we're ready to use it. We're going to open this one, which will start vacuuming the system. You can see our radiator hose is collapsed. We're going to hold this vacuum here for a little bit just to make sure we don't have any leaks, and then we're going to add the coolant. All right, we're holding a pretty good vacuum, so we're going to start letting the coolant in. We're making sure this stays in the bottom, and then we can open up our valve to start letting the coolant in. We just want to make sure we don't get to the bottom and draw air in, so we're going to pay close attention to this.
A few moments later.
All right, we've dropped down to 0 on our gauge. Our upper radiator hose is expanded back into its normal position, so we can actually take this off the radiator. And if you can see in there, our radiator is full up to the neck there. We can add more, but we also have to add some to our reservoir. All right, it's time to start the old girl up and see how we did with our repairs. Let's turn the heat on. How many miles are on this thing? 282,000. Great job, Toyota. Everything is looking good so far. We don't have any interference. Plenty of clearance between the belts and the cooling fans. I do want to see if the fans kick on. That'll tell us if our harnesses are working well. Take a quick look at our radiator. We're still up there where we belong. I don't know if you can see it in there, but our overflow still looks good too. The 2JZ with 280,000 plus miles. Have you ever heard an engine purr so nicely? Our upper radiator hose is warm, so we know our thermostat is opened up. And we have fans. Both sides. We did a good job. All right, everybody, that's going to do it for this video. Stay tuned for the next one where we take the fenders off of this, we paint our hood, we paint our bumper, we put everything back together and see this project finally finished. And so you know when the next video comes out, make sure you hit that like, subscribe, and notification button down below. As always, thanks for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time.